Everyone tells you to grind harder, wake up at 5 a.m., work 14-hour days, hustle until your eyes burn, and if you are not doing that, you are lazy, you are soft, you don't want it enough. I believed that for years, and you know what it got me? Burnout and fake productivity. 8 hours of sitting at a laptop feeling busy while actually doing jack shit. I was exhausted and I had nothing to show. Here's the thing, I have ADHD. My brain runs at 200% every single minute of the day. So if anyone should be able to out-hustle everyone in the room, it should be me, right? Wrong. The moment I stopped trying to work like a hustle bro and start working like someone who actually understands how their brain works, everything changed. I sold my marketing agency before I turned 25 and I moved to Southeast Asia. And right now I'm working 5 hours a day and outperform people who are grinding 10. And I stopped managing my time and started managing my energy instead, and that one shift changed everything. Welcome back. I'm Tom. I'm living out here in beautiful Bali, building my business with a superpower called ADHD. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I get more in 5 hours than most people do in 15. Let me take you back to 2024. I'm running my marketing agency. I had clients, I had a team, I had a schedule. And every single day I sat down at my desk at 9 a.m. in the morning and I told myself, okay, today I'm going to crush it. And then I would open my laptop, check my emails, jump on the first client call, answer some messages to my team, look up and it's already 2 p.m. and I haven't done a single thing that actually moved the needle. So I stayed up late, worked until midnight, tell myself I will do better tomorrow. And tomorrow was exactly the same. The thing is, I was following a hustle culture playbook perfectly. I was doing everything right on paper, long days, full calendar, always available for everyone. I was running empty by Wednesday every single week, and by Friday I was completely useless. And the worst part was I genuinely thought that the problem was me, that I wasn't disciplined enough, that I was too distracted, that maybe I just didn't want it as bad as the guys I was watching online who were posting about their 6 a.m. cold plunges and their 12-hour deep work session. I tried everything. Time blocking, Pomodoro, waking up earlier, going to bed later, productivity app, Notion dashboards that took me 3 days to build and I used for exactly 1 week. Nothing stuck. Simply because I was trying to force a neurotypical system onto a brain that was never built for it. So I started to switch my focus to my neurodivergent brain, and instead of counting hours, I started to managing my energy. And everything I thought I knew about productivity, I had to throw it out completely and start from scratch. That's when I built a system I'm going to show you today, and honestly, it's almost embarrassingly simple. But simple is exactly what works when your brain is fighting you every single day. The first point, trap of managing time. So here's what nobody in the hustle culture wants to admit. Time is not the problem. Every single person on this planet has the same 24 hours. Elon Musk, your successful friend, you, me, same 24 hours. So if the time was the real variable, we would all be equally successful. Obviously, that's not how it works. The real variable is energy. Specifically, how much mental energy you can bring to the hours you are actually working. And this is where ADHD makes things complicated, because our brains don't operate on a flat line. We don't have a consistent, steady output like a normal 9-to-5 worker who can sit down, do average work for 8 hours, go home, and do it again tomorrow. We have spikes, intense, almost scary levels of focus when something clicks, and then absolute zero, nothing. Staring at the screen like it's written in a language we've never seen before. I used to fight those zero moments. I would sit there and force myself to stay at the desk because that's what you are supposed to do. And I would waste 2 hours producing literally nothing while feeling guilty about it the whole time. And what I do now is completely different. My energy is gone, I stop. I close the laptop, I walk away, and I come back when the tank is full again. And here's what's funny. My output didn't go down when I started doing this. It went up. Because those 5 focused hours I'm putting in now are worth more than the 10 hours of half-focused, guilt-ridden, distracted work I was doing before. The hustle bros are optimizing for hours, I'm optimizing for intensity, and intensity always wins. But knowing that energy matters more than time, that's just the idea. The real question is, how do you actually build a day around it? And that's where the system comes in, the gamified system. So I stopped managing my time and started managing my dopamine. And I know that sounds like something you are read on a self-help Reddit thread, but stick with me because this is actually the thing that made everything click. The ADHD brain runs on dopamine. This is not an opinion, this is just how our brains are wired. We don't get the same baseline dopamine hits that neurotypical people get from just sitting down and doing work. We need more, we need novelty, we need challenge, we need the feeling that something is at stake. So I stopped fighting that and I just leaned into completely. I turned my workday into a game, a literal game with levels, rewards, and rules. And I know how that sounds, but just hear me out. I'm about to tell you how it works exactly. The first level, called the loop. I plan just 1 hour, not the whole day, not a giant to-do list that makes me anxious just looking at it. 1 single hour with one clear goal. Can I finish this thing in 60 minutes? That's it. That's the only question I'm asking myself. And if I do it, I unlock a reward. A 15-minute cold outside. Close the laptop, put the phone down, go outside and just walk. No podcast, no calls, no scrolling, just walk. And I know what you are thinking, Tom, a walk, that's the reward. Sounds like the most boring thing possible. But here's what I realized. The walk is not just a break, it's a dopamine reset. It's the thing that makes the next hour possible simply because your brain needs to decompress before it can fire up again at full intensity. Without the walk, hour 2 is always weaker than hour 1. With the walk, hour 2 can actually be stronger. And walking is just an option because I like to go outside, feel the sun on my skin, and walk. You can do whatever makes you feel energized, like workout, shower, cafe, snacks, whatever. The choice is yours. The level 2, called the Jackpot. If I hit 4 deep blocks in a single day, 4 full focus hours, I unlock what I call chill mode. 1 hour lying on a sofa, guilt-free in the middle of the day. No laptop, no phone, no pretending to be productive, just completely switching off. And this one was hard for me to accept at first, because every hustle culture voice in my head was screaming that lying on the sofa at 2 p.m. means you are a lazy fucker. You should be working. But you know that 1 hour of real rest made my afternoon sessions sharper than anything I tried before, because I wasn't dragging half that brain through the last part of my day. I was coming back actually refreshed. And now I protect that hour like it's a client meeting. Nothing touches it. Level 3, the streak. If I hit my target 5 days in a row, 5 consistent days of 4 focus blocks, Monday morning or Friday evening is completely off. No work, nothing. I can do whatever I want. This one changed my relationship with weekends completely, because before I always felt guilty on the weekends, like I should be working, like everyone else was grinding and I was just falling behind. And now Monday morning or Friday evening off feels earned. It's not laziness, it's the price I unlocked because I showed up every single day that week. And that feeling, that sense of winning something, is exactly the dopamine hit my brain needs to want it to do all over again next week. And now, here's the part most people get wrong when they try to build a system like this. Very important, the anti-penalty rule. Most productivity systems are built around punishment. Miss a deadline, you feel like shit. Break a streak, you failed. Didn't hit your goal, you are a lazy fucker. And for a neurotypical brain, maybe that works. The fear of failure is enough to keep them on track. But for an ADHD brain, punishment is poison. The moment I feel shame or anxiety around my work, I shut down completely. It's not a choice, it's just how my brain responds. The task becomes associated with negative feeling, and suddenly even opening the laptop feels like walking into a room where something bad happened. I learned this the hard way. I spent months punishing myself every time I missed the block or broke a streak. And every single time, the next day was worse. Not better, even worse. Because now I had guilt on the top of the original task and my brain wanted nothing to do with either of them. So I flipped it completely. In the system there are no real penalties. If I miss a block, I just start the next one. No guilt, no spiral, no beating myself up about it. the streak resets and we go again. Simply because a clean reset is always more productive than 2 days of paralysis. But I did keep one small penalty, and this one is actually clever if I say so myself. If I miss a block, no music in the next one. That's it. That's the only consequence I have to face. And I know it sounds almost too small to matter, but here is what I mean by this. I like working with music. It's part of my focus ritual. It signals to my brain that it's time to lock in, so removing it for just one block is just uncomfortable enough to make me not want to miss. But it's not shameful, it's not painful, it's not the kind of thing that sends me into the spiral for the rest of the day. It's a tiny, tiny friction, not a punishment. And that distinction is everything, because what you are trying to do here is train the brain to chase the win, not fear the loss. Those are two completely different motivational systems, and they produce completely different results. Chasing win feels like a game. Fearing the loss feels like a job you hate to do. And the whole point of building this system was to never feel like I hate my work again, because the moment work feels like something I'm being forced to do, I'm fucked. My brain checks out, says bye, and no amount of willpower is bringing it back. So I protect the game. I keep it fun. I keep the stakes low enough to failure doesn't break me, but high enough that winning actually feels like something. And when the system is working, I mean really working, it doesn't feel like discipline. It feels like playing, and I'm just sitting here in Southeast Asia, playing my game every day, getting my work done, and in 5 hours, then closing my laptop and actually living my life. Which is the whole point. Like, I want to talk about it for a second. Here's just something the hustle culture guys never post about on their Instagram. Freedom is not the reward you get after you grind for 10 years. Freedom is the whole point. Right now, today. I see so many entrepreneurs, smart people, talented people building businesses that are basically just a prison with a nice view. And they are working 12-hour days in Bali instead of 12-hour days in their hometown and calling it the dream. But if you're starting off a laptop from 8 a.m. until midnight, I don't give a fuck where you are in the world. You are not free. I built my agency around a schedule that would have destroyed most people, and for a while I wore that as a badge of honor. Look how hard I'm working. Look how much I'm sacrificing. And then I got my ADHD diagnosis, and I sat down and actually looked at my calendar, and I realized something that genuinely shocked me. The hours I was most productive, the hours where I actually produced something real, something good, were never the long ones. They were always the short, intense, focused ones every single time. The other hours, they were just noise, busy work, emails I didn't need to send, meetings that could have been a message, and tasks that felt productive but moved nothing forward. I was working 10 hours to get 5 hours of real work done, and I was destroying myself in the process. So now I just do the 5 hours, and I protect everything around it like my life depends on it. The Muay Thai session in the morning, the walk after the first block, the chill hour in the afternoon, the beach in the evening with my partner. Those things are not the reward for finishing work. Those things are the work. Simply because a brain that is rested, stimulated, and happy produces 10 times more in one focused hour than a burned out brain produces in 10. And this is the thing I really want you to hear, especially if you have ADHD and you've been told your whole life that you just need to try harder, be more disciplined, stop getting distracted. You don't need to try harder. You need to stop trying in the wrong direction. The hustle bros are playing a game that was never designed for our brains, and you will never win someone else's game. You can only win your own. Build a system around how your brain actually works and protect your energy like it's your most valuable business asset, because it is. And stop apologizing for needing a walk in the middle of a day or a slow morning or a guilt-free hour on the sofa. That's not weakness. That's how you sustain this for years instead of burning out in months. And look, I'm 25, I sold a company, I live in Southeast Asia, I work 5 hours a day, and I'm just getting started. And none of that happened because I out-hustled anyone. It happened because I stopped trying to and built something that actually worked for me. And now, if you want to do the same, I will tell you where to start. The system I showed you today is not complicated. 1 hour blocks, real rewards, no shame when you miss, protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset. That's it. But simple doesn't mean easy, because unlearning 2, 3, 5, 10 years of hustle culture conditioning, that takes time. And in case if you have ADHD, building any new system takes more repetition than it does for most people before it actually sticks. So give it a real shot, not one day, one full week, track your blocks, protect your rewards, and see what happens to your output by Friday. And if you want the exact Notion template I use to track my daily blocks, my streaks, and my energy levels, drop me a DM on Instagram. You can find my name in the description and I will make sure that it's there for you. If you want to see the exact systems I use to make sure I actually finish what I start, because trust me, with ADHD, that's a whole different battle, go watch my previous video on my channel. I break down everything I do to stop jumping between ideas and finally see things through to the end. See you in the next one.